You don't deserve to study in the same school as I do. This school is only for intelligent kids like me. You were just the more competent version of me. I was the firstborn for a reason. Now with the school rid of you, I won't ever have to see you again. Ever. Not at home, not here either. He spat in my face. What did I expect? This wasn't the first time he had framed me for something he had done. Stealing money from classmates' bags, vandalizing walls and defacing school property. Sadly, no one could tell us apart. When there were twins, you'd always expect the older twin to be the smart one, the caring one, the better twin, and that he was. I was just always and would forever be the inferior twin. The one who had brought shame to the entire family, to generations and generations of relatives who had passed. He was the perfect child anyone could ever want. Shame that no one ever saw through his facade but me. Everyone was too busy being proud of him, praising him, to even notice me. Why can't you be more like your brother, or your shame onto this family? You don't deserve to carry the last name Everett, they would say to me when they did. Mother and father would constantly degrade me until they felt I was nothing more than a useless child. They would also kick me, punch me, slap me, and choke me when they're frustrated about anything at all. I was barely allowed to leave my room at all, and I rarely saw him at home. I admit he was intelligent. He had a far better personality than I ever did. Arts, sports, and music had never had a place in anything that mattered. He was a born genius, and everyone gave him all their love. While I was only ever seen as a dumber version of him. Mother and father went around bragging about him so much, and his ego inflated me every time. To the point when he started to despise me and also see me as a useless brother who would never achieve anything in life. When we had grown up, life at home was hell, but school, it was much worse. He was popular, hung around older people who were the same level as him. He would constantly make fun of me and get me into trouble. He would get all of his friends to sneer and spit out rumors at me when I walked past. Being identical meant no one could tell us apart except for the glasses and huge birthmark he had. When he would go around the school causing trouble and trying to frame me, he would change out his glasses for contacts and cover up his birthmark with mother's concealer. Without the only things that could tell our physical appearance apart, he looked exactly like me. He would always do something and purposely get caught. Teachers would immediately assume the twin standing in front of them was Taylor Everett, me. I was so used to hearing those words, Taylor Everett, you will be suspended from school. I always tried to defend myself, but the principal wouldn't bother hearing me out. Ultimately, I stopped caring altogether, and my mother and father would berate me for getting into trouble, saying that every single time they wished they had only one son. I had to endure years and years of emotional and physical abuse. I never dared to call Child Protective Services on mother and father or told anyone what they did to me. They had threatened multiple times to kill me if I had. I never tried to run away either, because if I knew I did, I would not have a roof over my head or food to eat. I guess the only reason mother and father kept me around was so he would have an organ donor ready at hand if he ever needed a transplant of any time. This time, it was way too far. He had assaulted my best friend, Arissa. Arissa and I argued a few days ago before I had accidentally torn her dark gray jacket that her father had paid an arm and leg for, and were not on good terms. Arissa had overheard him talking to his friends about how he had framed me for all the previous crimes that he had done, and documented the entire thing. Somehow he found out and went after her to try and get her to delete the video. He just walked up to her and punched her square in the face. Arissa immediately assumed it was me, like everyone else. She thought that I had punched her so that I could get her to stop the entire Taylor, you have to pay for this jacket type thing, and just tell her dad that some guy tried to rob it off of her and ended up damaging it. The school almost called her dad. The school called mother and father and explained to them that although Marissa's family had decided not to press charges, I would have to get expelled to protect the other students from potential harm from Taylor Everett. I couldn't believe that he would do such a thing, and he had never resorted to bodily harm before, not even when Sasha Mighton had accidentally hit him in the stomach with a badminton racket once. I hate him so much. I wish that he was never born, then I would never had to experience all of this. I hate mother and father, and I wish they were all dead. I wish I could do something about this. I guess wishes do come true. Sometimes all I have to do is work for it. Well put, Taylor. Well put. I mean, for crying the fuck out loud. Thank goodness you got away from that. It seems like you were in a very big predicament. Even though I hope that you work for your freedom and work hard, maybe then your brother would stop feeling so hateful of you if you start working harder. Try to get up to his level or something like that. Don't commit suicide. Just talk to child services. Or try to impress your parents by getting an A in school. Anyway, that's all I have for today. But I hope, Taylor, that you patch things up with your best friend and that your parents wallow away in their self-pity and have a great life with your brother. And I hope that your brother ends up getting run over by a car. His actions were deplorable, and I am embarrassed to have anything to do with it. I bet you are too. In that situation, I would have just punched him in the head. Or slammed him into the wall, do all the abusive stuff they did to you, to him. The end is the end of that story. Now, if you please excuse me, I have to go. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!